What's good, bitches? Welcome to Prison Blade Gaming. My name is Hawk Johansson, aka the one your mother warned you about. Joining me today, as always, is our Ghosts of Saltmarsh cast. We have Fighter Man.
Hello.
Absolutely not a snake.
Hi.
The Bee.
Bzz.
Creepy old lady.
Good day.
And Waifu Collector 9000.
Hello.
That was adorable.
Oh, God.
Last time, our brave adventurers, trademark, copyright, all rights reserved, managed to fend off a massive sahuagin attack on Saltmarsh. They absolutely wrecked face, broke things, took names, reinvented the letter R, and also got some sweet treasure out of it. And by treasure, I mean followers. In today's episode, it is the day after. Everything has been going well since the sahuagin attack, all things considered. The party has managed to help the town repair the damaged buildings and other things that were busted up and broken. You've made a name for yourselves, helping tend to the wounded and provide potions and equipment and knowledge. You're basically proving yourselves to be the town fucking heroes. And that evening, all of you receive invitations from numerous people. It's difficult to explain where they came from or who they're all from, because none of them are signed. They're just saying, each of you receive a note saying, we're having a party tonight, and you're invited. Though you do recognize that all of them have the stamps and seals of the local nobles that live around town. So, you know. These are some well-to-do people who want you to come to their exquisite balls.
Nope, I'm not making the joke.
Fine, I'll make it. And just like most exquisite balls, they expect you to fondle them carefully. There you go. So, we will cut to this evening. And I accidentally put my microphone on my book. God damn it. As Shinzo and Helica would arrive at one of their parties. The party is being held by the town guard. Or at least that's what the public thinks. The main barracks of the town guard are being used to host a lovely, exquisite party. There are a lot of stands that have been just thrown up and built, and they're housing all sorts of nice foods and fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. A lot of people are making plates, talking to each other, enjoying the fact that they're not sahuagin slaves. You know, as you do. And as the two of you approach, what would you be wearing to this occasion?
Shinzo would still be in his armor, pretty much suited up. He's never really out of it.
How about you, Shun? What would Helica be doing?
She's wearing very elegant Egyptian style fabric. She has a death mask, if you know what those are, on. And it looks extremely regal, like bearing all sorts of crystals on the top of the crown of the death mask. You can see her eyes that pierce through the sockets to red. and it seems like the mask somewhat like somewhat just distorts her voice a bit, but you can still tell it's her. But she's um just carrying on, sauntering and making merry with whoever's with her.
All right. Hey, Quinn.
Hi, sorry for being late.
No, it's fine, man. All right. As you make your way into the party itself, the two of you would look around to see quite a few of the upper class merchants in this party. These are folks that you've seen who own the ships around town, as well as the merchant caravans that have occasionally rolled through. Now, eventually, as you are, just milling about, hanging out, I'm going to call on both of you. I want both of you to roleplay. Give me something that catches your interest at this party.
Okay.
Who's particularly here?
It is Shinzo and Helica at the moment.
Okay, sorry.
It's all good.
Okay, so, interesting. At this party, is there anybody who looks, who also? I mean, I'm quite sure there's plenty of noble-looking folk here. Any, like, oh, you want me to explain what I see, what I'm imagining?
You tell me something interesting here.
Okay. Helica is just wading through everybody, drinking her hand as she's just surveying the crowd. She spots a pale-looking elf with full white sclera eyes, and she has like crescent moon tattoos going across her brow. Her lipstick is black, and she's also draped in all black. Her hair is also silver and it shimmers. Helica would approach the elven lady and give a slight bow and asks, "You seem to be a bit out of well, you do not seem like the sort that would be in a town such as this. What are you doing in Saltmarsh?"
She looks directly at you, her blind eyes staring deep into your soul. "I am here to witness what is to come."
Oh, ominous. Where are you from?
I can't actually remember the name of the place right now. I think it's just High Forest. She gives you the name of an elven kingdom.
Interesting. I'm from the Adamantum Deserts, otherwise known as the Diamond Deserts. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. Yes.
Really?
I know many things.
What do you know about it?
That the dunes sparkle like gems in the sunset.
Well, did you know that our temples are built in alignment with the heavens? Each temple is tuned to a unique magical musical scale based on its dimensions and sacred proportions. My father had it built that the priests of his temple were known as the keepers of the scale, and they are trained from birth to maintain his temples. It's quite interesting to witness.
It's fascinating. How very curious.
Quite. But I know very little about your place. Maybe later, when you're not busy here with the whole shindig, I could learn more about you and your people.
I think I would like that. But you might be busy. I think you're going to have a lot of things to discuss with your friends.
Oh yes.
You see her blind eyes dart to the left, where you notice Shinzo doing something. And then
Drinking.
but then past him you also see another very noble, regal looking half-elf slowly making his way towards you. Like stopping, shaking hands, talking, but always gently moving in your direction. Things are about to start unfolding.
You don't say. She kind of swirls her liquor around and takes a sip.
I think you'd best go get your friend. Things are about to get very, very interesting, aren't they?
Only one way to find out. I'll return.
As you glance
In
back
the
at her,
moment.
she's gone.
Oh.
Poof! Oh,
Interesting.
so that's what that feels like.
Money.
Batman. It's a Batman reference.
I was like, where's disembodied voice? Where did it come from?
Alright. Shinzo, what kind of interesting thing did you find at the party?
Well, he really enjoys his alcohol. So when he saw Helica walk off towards the name, he was he just muddled, always with the ladies. And then he looks around and notices, well, the alcohol is, and instantly goes over to Unbeknownst Street. While Helica was chatting up the.
As you take your third shot that evening, the aforementioned dandy half-elf steps up to you. You're Shinzo, right? Big bloke who took out one of the sahuagin?
Yeah, what of it?
I'd have a job for you if you're interested.
Well, is the money, glory, and alcohol.
Oh, much better than that, my friend. Much better than that.
You can't get much better than that, so how about you try to explain?
Well, first things first. You might want to get your red-haired friend over there before she gets herself killed. That's a priestess.
Yeah, she can take care of herself.
No, against a high priestess of Shah, she can't. That blind lady, oh, no, she's gone. Hate it when she does that. Gives me the willies. Whatever. He casually, socially drags you over towards Helica, bringing the two of you together. Right. Name's Alexander. Nice to meet you. I got something.
Okay.
I might have something that would interest you and your party of adventurers. You've got a bit of a reputation around town as problem solvers, fixers, people who can make things happen. I happen to represent a group that really wants to fix things around here. So tell me, how much do you actually know about Saltmarsh's history?
Absolutely nothing.
Likewise. Unfortunately.
He kind of grimaces at that, but nods. Understandable, understandable. The Saltmarsh, before the current political situation started to unfold, was ruled by a group called the Sea Princes, who were a bunch of pirates and smuggling masters. Bunch of right proper assholes they were. But eventually, a group of other adventurers came in, kicked their shit in, and sent them packing. And ever since then, the Sea Princes have either been dead or missing. Now, that didn't stop people from pirating and smuggling. And the adventurers, when they left, kind of just left Saltmarsh to do whatever it wanted. And now we've got both Neverwinter and Waterdeep claiming that they own this dominion of Saltmarsh. Like, they're both claiming, like, dominion over the city.
Oh. So, are you saying that they might come and try to attack the city?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, that's precisely the problem. Neither side is willing to do anything to the city. Because if one side comes in, the other side will get mad and come and fight. It's a bit of a Cold War situation, you know what I mean? So, while this stalemate is occurring and all the bureaucrats are dickering and blithering about, piracy and smuggling is still going unchecked. And that's where you come in. There's currently a pirate vessel in the docks right now, called the Dreadnought. It's run by a crazy wizard pirate who fancies himself the next sea prince. And he wants to make this place his domain. And he's going to be, like, according to my sources, he's going to be running out to sea, trying to escape the blockades that the sahuagin have put up ever since y'all kicked their shit in, and gathering support to come back here, beat the sahuagin himself, and take over the city. Basically, I'm asking you to go and deal with him. Because if you do, I'll let you keep his ship.
Well, consider me on board.
Right. The catch is...
I guess I could.
Now, whatever you do to him, you get to keep it. That's it.
Good.
All me and my colleagues want is for another pirate to be gone. Because they're a blight to law and order. So, deal with him. The ship is yours. And as long as you don't fly the Jolly Roger, we'll be okay.
Okay.
You know why I'm giggling.
I do. Both of you roll me history, please. This is going to be the interesting part. Helica, in the time you've been here, establishing yourself as a noble and making connections, you've come to understand that there are a couple specific political groups within Saltmarsh. The way Alexander is talking is making him sound like a loyalist, one who is loyal to the general law of the land. And which means he's probably also in league with Ida, the old councilwoman that y'all met prior to the going out after the lizard folk.
Very interesting.
Shinzo, you would know about this dichotomy, and you would know that this guy's probably a loyalist, but you wouldn't know much more than just that. So, you have any questions?
I had one on the tip of my tongue, but the cat has it. But so we could go anytime and wipe these guys out.
As long as it's before probably tomorrow. I think that's when he's going to be leaving.
Well, Shinzo, we have some fighting to do then.
All right.
Let's go take some hits. Wait, by the way, out of character, the party is still going on, right?
Yeah, the party is still going on around you.
Decisions. But we're gonna get a ship, so we can just have a party on the ship once we get it. So we can just blow this popsicle stand and go take out those guys.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, I made a derp. Not Ida. Y'all remember the dwarf that you met at the council meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's her.
The one
That's
with the soot.
yeah, she's a loyalist, not Ida. Ida's on the other side. My bad.
That's just a simple goof.
Alright. Well, I'll recommend that you gather up your whole little party. It's a big ship. It's going to take a lot to take him down.
Okay. Should be no problem.
Right, glad to hear it. He claps the two of you on the shoulder and goes off to mingle with some other guests. And with that, our focus shall turn to another party, which Sorok and Amo were invited to.
Oh, cool.
No,
You
not
two perfectly normal humans.
No, I'm sorry, Amo and Charlotte. Amo and Charlotte were invited to this one. No. Alright. Sorry, Quinn. This one is an old school party done up with Saltmarsh's colors. That being blue, gold, and green. As the two of you enter the large, noble hall, you find yourselves looking at like banners of Saltmarsh's colors and family mottos and sigils. And all of the people here are either older folks who have been around Saltmarsh for a really long time, or their kids.
Quaint party. It was a nice invitation, and I never turned down an invitation, you see. What exactly is there to do here?
There is plenty of food, drink, merriment. You can see a couple of bards up on a small stage who are playing a jaunty jig. It's just a nice little place. As soon as Bigglesby walks in after Amo, all the kids are all over him. And he is just enjoying the attention. But here's where I'm going to turn it over to you two. What do you see that catches your interest?
Charlotte is sort of observing the tables and what sort of interesting things there are to eat and drink as she watches the passerby and people in the party.
All right. How about you, Dingo? Do you see anything interesting at this party?
Yeah, Amo's gonna look around. He knows all these people. Most of them, at least. He grew up with them. And that one over there is a girl he used to be sweet on. Back when they were younger. It didn't turn out. She's married now, but he's still got a soft spot for her.
No. You can tell she has a soft spot for Amo as well, as she winks at him, and then holds up a scone which has what he recognizes as his spiced honey on it.
I'll give a little wave. Ain't gonna go button in her life.
Aw. Alright. As the two of you are just being wallflowers and watching the festivities, a young man walks up to the two of you. Good day. Mr. Pinewater would like to see you in upstairs. If that's acceptable to you. He's looking.
I'm sorry, what?
Mr. Pinewater would like to speak to you upstairs.
Pinewater.
You both of you recognize the name. He's an older noble who's been in Saltmarsh for a very long time. He's one of the He leads a lot of the smaller stores in town, the specialty, like, niche stores that provides, like, specific services.
Ah, so he's the town pimp.
Something like that. But, yeah.
Well, Miss Charlotte, care to accompany me? And I'll offer her my arm. Arm.
Oh, well, that'd be nice. And she sort of comes up politely and sees, oh, is that a friend of yours there?
Oh yeah, that's Clarabelle. We grew up together. She was on the about 2 farms down. Nice girl.
You two would look lovely together.
Yeah, I thought so too, but
Time to murder her husband.
her pa wouldn't have it, so it is what it is. She's got a family and kids now.
I see. Well, it's nice to see things of the past sometimes. Makes me feel a little bit nostalgic myself. Well, let's be off then.
Yep, no rest for the wicked.
Indeed.
Alright. As you follow the young man upstairs, he opens a door to reveal a very plush office. You can hear the song from downstairs in here, and looking up to trace the source of the noise, you can see a what looks like a horn coming out of the wall, like a old-timey steampunk sound system. This office, it looks like a very fancy library with plush leather seats, what's the word? Like wine shelves, but like more like a dresser.
Wine cabinet.
That's it, thank you, a wine cabinet. Along with numerous chairs and a large glass table that looks like it's been etched and stained to look like a map of Saltmarsh and the surrounding lands. This is some seriously fancy shit. As you enter, sitting on a large, almost throne-like chair, is the most dapper individual you have ever fucking seen. Salt and pepper goatee, slick back black hair with strands of gray around the ears, a monocle, pressed suit, and on his hands you see just 3 plain gold rings. As you enter, he glances up. Ah. It seems my true guests have arrived. He stands as you both enter. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Gellin Pinewater.
Pleasure is
Pleasure to
mine.
meet you.
What exactly did you make such a lovely little party for us then?
Oh, the party is the diversion. I needed to speak with the two of you about something that threatens the town. You've caught my eye, after all. He pours both of you a glass of wine and hands them to you. Please, have a seat.
Charlotte takes a seat and she just calmly sits without taking the drink just yet.
How about Amo?
I'll sit down and give the wine a sniff. What sort of quality are we looking at here?
Smells pretty good. It smells like wine, but like there's something else to it, like spice. probably have a little more of a kick.
I'll try some.
It's good wine. Pretty good wine. I'm not a wine connoisseur. I can't really go on here with the flavors, but it's good.
Yeah, it's fancy
Yeah.
and not poison so far.
Yeah. He takes a sip as well after pouring himself a glass from the same bottle. I need to know where you stand with the politics of Saltmarsh. The two of you know our history, yes? And
Somewhat.
the two of you would know the same history that I just spouted with Alexander. Are you aware that there is another kingdom in the rising out to the east? Well, I call it a kingdom. It's it's not been officially recognized by anyone yet, but it's certainly growing worrisome.
What's its name?
It has no name as of yet. At least none that I can pronounce. My palate isn't brutish enough to pronounce Orcish words.
I see. Orcish, huh?
An orc warlord has been gathering followers and support from the different tribes and clans around this area. Many of the merchants who work for me have been claiming that they've seen fewer and fewer orc bandits and raiders across this entire region, and I believe this would-be kingdom is why. They have a keep near the Sword Mountains to the east, about a day's ride away. And I believe they're planning something. If this kingdom grows large enough to actually be recognized by the other dominant powers as even just a barony, its domain could extend to Saltmarsh. And then we'd all have orcs ruling us. I'm sure you can see the problem here.
What makes them exactly a threat? You make it seem like they would rule over you easily if they had the chance. But have you ever talked to them yet?
They're orcs. What is there to talk about other than blood, murder, and barbarism?
Well, we do have one in our kind. Party.
Yes, the Blackheart Pirate, I'm aware of him. But the Blackheart Pirates are a special occasion. After all, I raised his captain myself. It was an experiment to see if orcs could be refined, and instead he turned into a pirate captain. Just goes to show that his kind will always be bloodthirsty.
I don't like the way you think. Well, I know that if we don't go check this out for you, you'll get an army to do it instead.
Correct. Whether you take this job or not is irrelevant to me, but I thought I would extend the matter to you, considering, well, the two of you are natives. You know our ways, you know our people. If you do this for me, whatever you find in the keep is yours, as well as the keep itself. I'm sure it's not owned by anyone. But you will only have until tomorrow to set out for it. After that, I'll be hiring mercenaries to deal with it for you.
We'll see what we can do. But it may come at a price. And I'm not talking about the kind with gold.
His eyes narrow at that. You may wish to be careful of what you insinuate, Miss Charlotte.
Ah, I know very well what I insinuate. And she looks carefully at him, deep into his soul.
As you peer into his eyes, into his soul, you see only hatred.
Oh, I know you types very well. Very well.
Then I believe our work here is done. He smiles.
Indeed.
He smiles amicably. And you feel the presence of the young man behind the two of you. Please, enjoy the rest of the party. I spared no expense for the people of this town.
And for that, you have my appreciation. And for the wine, I'll finish my cup.
He toasts the two of you and takes another sip, watching as the young man leads you out, cup in hand. And with that, the scene will cut back over to another party going on. This one, a more local party. Instead of the nobles throwing something for the people, this is some of the people and sailors throwing something for themselves. What Sorok and Ikarath walk into is a goddamn shindig. It is loud, uproarious. The tavern is full of sailors, like, just cheering and bellowing as bar fights go on, and a jaunty tune is played over it. It feels like home for Sorok.
Yes, it does. As Sorok is probably dancing atop of one of the tables.
As he's dancing, a lot of people are throwing copper coins at him. Not onto the table, but at him. Ikarath would recognize it as, part of Saltmarsh's traditions. If someone's dancing well, you throw copper at them. Literally. So
Take off your boots!
You throw copper at them so they'll stop showing off and let a loser dance. But as the two of you take a moment to just relax, what interesting things would you two see around this bar room party?
Well, for Sorok, he's more or less just seeking to, well, do what any pirate does whenever they actually succeed at something.
Drinking heavily?
No, the other thing.
Telling the story?
Well, yes, that, but
The
wooing a
two-person
chick.
tango?
It's flirting.
You see a lot of people flirting. Most of them getting rejected. Or...
Sorok is actually going to attempt his try with an elf, if there is one in the room.
There is a, boy or girl? Or neither.
Female, preferably, but it doesn't really matter either direction.
Cool. You approach a young elven lass who turns to look at you with a skeptical eye.
Well, howdy there, lassie. Don't
Go-
believe I have gotten your name.
And you probably won't. Come on, give me the pickup line. Let's see if I've heard it before.
Oh, please. I will have pickup lines. I generally just chat with a fine young lady.
I've heard that one 20 times. Tonight. She pats you on the cheek and walks away, laughing about it.
Come on now. Not every day an orc attempts to flirt with an elf.
I'll give you that. You're only the third orc who's ever flirted with me. And
I see my crew guy try to get to you.
She laughs back, disappearing into the throng. Ikarath, is there anything interesting you see in this throng of partiness?
Ikarath would be looking to see if there were any sort of upscale-looking people, to see if he could attempt to swindle something from them, whether it be wealth, trinkets, something like that.
You do see a slightly fancier-looking gentleman up on the balcony, just laughing and cheering at all the partying going on. Eventually, as you start making your way up towards them, you hear a loud cheer and you turn around to see a dwarf doing a handstand on one of the tables. As you reach the man, you approach him to say... So how are you approaching this gentleman?
Oh, he's just gonna kind of walk up and say... I just want to clarify real quick before I say what I was gonna say. Did you say that this is just kind of like a shindig, like a big sort of less upscale and general party?
Yeah, it's a bar room party. It's the local tavern is throwing it for the sailors and out of city visitors.
Fantastic. I just wanted to make sure. Igarath would walk up and say, My, you look far too nice to be in a place like this.
I am far too nice to be in a place like this. But it pays to know where the good parties go on.
Well, that is for certain, especially considering that there is quite a bit to celebrate, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. It isn't every day you repel a sahuagin invasion.
Absolutely.
He takes...
He'd extend... Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
He takes a sip of his drink and actually turns to you, leaning on the banister. So what brings you here? I know you didn't come talk to me just because I look fancy.
Ikarath would kind of smile and just say, well, you certainly look fancy, but you also look fairly strong. Where were you during the battle with the sahuagin?
I was on the inlet part of the bay. I was waiting for sahuagin to sneak in, and when they didn't because of the barricade, I headed north to help them out.
Ah, fantastic. I was frontline myself, over on the docks, repelling them with my friends.
How brave of you.
Yes, he would extend his hand and say, Ikarath Skarn.
Yes, the Yonti agent, I know you. He does not take your hand. Instead, he raises his own to reveal that one of the golden rings he has a small needle on the inside of it. As you look carefully at it, you can see that it has a thin layer of poison. I don't shake hands with anyone I don't intend to kill.
Ah. Well, I'll take that as a compliment, I suppose.
Arnold Skarn. Nice to meet you.
Last name. That's a nice ring you have.
It is. I got it from my mother.
Oh, from your mother.
Yes.
Is she also a fighter?
No. If you'd believe it, she was a half-orc. And my father... And my father was a genasi from the plane of fire.
You know, also, living in a place like Saltmarsh, I believe anything I see.
You probably shouldn't. That's bad for business. But tell me, Mr. Skarn, What do you make of the current situation around town?
I suppose it depends on which situation you're referring to.
Unfortunately, I'm referring to the political one.
Ah, politics. One of the most interesting pieces, and yet...
One of the most boring as well.
Exactly. Also one of the most peaceful, and yet one of the most violent.
He snaps his fingers, points down to the crowd, and then gestures, like, up. You hear someone moving behind you, but when you turn, there's no one there. As he makes small talk with you, a moment later, Sorok arrives.
Oh, hey there, laddie.
Hey.
Who's this lad?
This is Arnold Scarn.
He's a half-orc, right?
No,
That's what I heard?
No, he's human.
Oh.
Mother was a half-orc.
How are you doing?
My name is David Shoalkeeper, and that's my actual name this time. I'm a member of a group and organization known as the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Scarlet Brotherhood,
Sorok would actually know them. They are they're basically the Thieves Guild of Saltmarsh.
Y'all are thieves, right?
We prefer the term treasure hunters. But yes.
Treasure hunters, thieves, it's the same thing.
It all depends on perspective.
I mean, from a pirate's perspective, it is.
Very good, Captain. Very good. But I'm glad you approached me, Ikarath. I have a question for you.
Certainly.
Have you ever heard of the Sunless Citadel?
The Sunless Citadel.
Indeed.
Of course I have.
Had a character. Would I know anything like that?
No.
Sadly, I never heard of that kind of place.
This isn't your citadel, though, Ikarath. This is a different one.
Really?
To the south, in the forests near the mountains, a group of adventurers once delved into an ancient lost citadel, hidden underneath the woods. There they encountered standard adventure fare, a goblin tribe, kobolds coming into the Underdark to raid for supplies. But most importantly, a corrupted druid who had been tainted by a dark grove grown from a vampire's corpse.
That doesn't sound very lovely.
No, it wasn't. It was actually quite awful. But those same adventurers managed to purge that citadel of its darkness. But they left it there. They had no idea what they were actually dealing with. They just saw it as an adventure to go purge evil, and they purged the evil and left.
Oh. I thought they failed.
The thing is, those same adventurers, years later, were the ones who came to Saltmarsh and cast out the Sea Princes.
Those are a bunch of pirate lords, right?
Yes, the ones who used to rule Saltmarsh and the surrounding lands. After they...
I remember my old man always bitching about how those guys were removed and it wasn't fair. I think.
No, it wasn't. 4 of them died, 3 of them are now missing. But the Sea Princes aren't the point here. The point is the Citadel itself. No one actually went back to claim it.
Really?
Hey, perhaps we could claim it. At least it'd be a good staging point.
Perhaps you could. Perhaps you could find something in there that the adventurers missed.
Hell, perhaps there's a lot of gold there.
It very well could be.
And perhaps there's a particular artifact in there that I want.
Family heirloom, or is it more of a...
More of a, I've done a lot of research on this subject, and I happen to want it.
Yeah, that's fair. So you want us to go in there, sneak it in there like a archaeologist, and get you this artifact here?
Correct. After that,
What do
any treasures you find in there are yours to keep, as is the citadel itself.
I mean, that's a fair deal.
Oh, I would have to ask, what is this artifact you are seeking?
A horn.
You mean
horn.
like like a blowhorn, or more like a
Yes.
just a animal horn?
Yes, a blowhorn, a toot-toot kind of horn. It happens to be enchanted. According to lore, if it is blown on the dawn of a new day, it will bring whoever hears it incredible luck.
Sounds like a very beneficial thing for not only yourself, but for everybody.
Indeed, I happen to want it. Do we have a deal?
What could go wrong with this? Other than probably you backstabbing us.
He twists his poisoned ring point out and holds out his hand, now safe from the poison sting.
Well, I'm glad it hadn't shaken that hand yet.
It would have been quite an illuminating experience for you, I assure you. But
Well,
you don't have to take this job. I understand if your adventurer friends want you to do something else.
Well, we could... Well, is there a time limit exactly? Or
Unfortunately, yes. I am on a schedule.
Oh.
I will need you to set out for it by tomorrow at the latest.
well, we could discuss this with our comrades, see what they say, and we'll go get it if they say yes.
well, I just have one last question.
And what
Will
would
you be
that-
allowing us to do this on our own, or are you are you sending anyone alongside?
Oh no, this will be completely of your volition. If you
Good.
succeed, the Sunless Citadel will be yours to keep. I wouldn't dare intrude upon someone else's private property.
Ah, a gentleman.
Honor among thieves, I see.
When you live outside the law, you have to be honorable.
At least honorable with those that are also outside the law themselves.
Well said.
Well,
That's at least a philosophy I adopted as well. But, I personally don't see anything wrong with this.
No, look, they're playing throwing axes down there. You glance down to see a group of dwarves now throwing axes at a target someone's painted on the wall. One dwarf, a heavily inebriated gentleman, steps up, rears back with his axe, holds out his other hand to aim and keep himself steady. He aims heavily and strong at the center of the target. He roars as he throws and hits the wall behind him.
That's the
Let's see.
opposite of hitting a target.
that is exactly what I expected to see at a place like this.
I'm tempted to challenge those dwarves.
By all means.
You definitely should.
Sorok just slides his way downstairs just to do that.
Ikarath would kind of look at, I think you said his name was David?
David.
And say, I don't know about the rest of my group, but I am certainly in on this.
Glad to hear it. But if your group isn't in agreement, well, no skin off my back.
Well, I think I'll have to do some convincing then.
He flicks you a small ring. Looking at it, you can tell it's worth about 10 gold. There, the thing you were going to try and steal from me. And he winks at you and turns back to watching the festivities.
Oh, thank you. And he would pocket it.
Alright. And this is where the party comes back together. Late that evening, the party would regroup in their usual tavern to discuss their options. So please, roleplay amongst yourselves. As each of you enters your room, the big tavern, to see each other.
Oi, laddies!
Hey! Once again, hello everyone.
Okay, so we got a job for ya. Or at least, if you're willing to listen, that is.
Armor like appears behind him. Funny enough, I was going to say the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, likewise.
What, has everybody gotten jobs?
Yes, we're all hired. Interesting.
The question now is which is the most urgent.
Well, that depends. What exactly is it that you two had? I want to hear what you four had gotten. I meant you two as in you two groups, but you get what I meant.
We're gonna get a boat!
Yes, a pirate ship.
Wait. A pirate ship?
Yes.
God! Damn it! God, that one's so tempting.
But we do have something that if we stay idle with, a bigger consequence. A man here, I forgot his name. He was too boring for me to even remember. Such dull tastes. I hate those type of men. But anyways.
Dull tastes, bad wine,
What?
high-key racist.
What's the job exactly?
He wants to take out upcoming orcish fortress up in the east. But-
Say what now? Like, repeat that? I thought I heard you say he wants us to get rid of a group of orcs.
Yes, exactly. Knowing who you are, that might be of some urgency to you. And if we don't do it in a
Perhaps
day,
we could negotiate? Or does he just want us to go in there and just start slaughtering like a bunch of savage animals?
Well, either we go up to the keep and do whatever it is we're going to do, or he's going to send an army to do it for us.
Oh, bloody hell. And we have this job from... What was the lad's name again?
David.
Thank you.
From the Scarlet
That man.
Brotherhood.
He wanted us to go to this Sun Citadel tomorrow, like directly tomorrow morning, to get a artifact for him and the potential possibility of us getting our own base of operations within this area.
Yes. Sunless
and-
Citadel over
and-
now.
Also, to sweeten the deal, lots of gold! At least that's what he claims.
Well, the fortress is promised to be ours if we can claim it, as well as anything inside.
Bloody hell, that's very tempting. The orc one is, for me personally, sounds more important. Because I rather not let other orcs suffer through what I've been through, so...
It could be worse. You could be swallowed by a doom dragon and cough back up.
Don't know what a doom
Well,
dragon
I
is,
went
but I'll
through
take
from
your word
as a
on it.
kid. No, that was terrible. It was really bad.
Do you wish to know what a
This
doom dragon
this
is?
orc
Oh, go ahead.
this orc fortress is part of the deal that we need to take them out.
You never said anything about that. Well, he implied it very heavily. He doesn't like orcs much. Apparently, he knew your father, Captain.
Out of character, did my father ever mention about his own tutor or anything like that?
Nope.
I thought he was always a pirate.
Well, apparently he raised your father.
That's a bit surprising. I guess adopting orphans is a bit of a thing, I guess.
I don't think he was being altruistic about it. But,
Okay, well, unlike my father, then that guy's an ass.
yeah. This pirate ship, what's the deal with that?
Oh, Shinzo, can you recall the details?
No, I've had quite a bit to drink.
Oh my god.
Very well.
They,
Well, I just...
the guy told you about a pirate ship led by a mad wizard who claims that he is going to be the next sea prince. The ship is called the Dreadnought, and he's leaving town tomorrow.
And I would say that is an opportunity that we should probably pounce upon, because striking while the iron's hot, we might not get another opportunity to get that ship. The Dreadnought would be good for our future endeavors, I wager. I could even decorate it with Calclun crystals. Oh, that would be beautiful.
Interesting. So it all comes down that each of our jobs just so happen to be due tomorrow. Well...
Would you like me to drop the fluffy pretense and actually tell you what this is mechanically?
What?
This is your party picking the next dungeon and your future stronghold.
Oh.
Where you will be able to build up your armies and eventually take on other armies and lands.
What are our options? The Citadel, which is sunless, the Dreadnought, and what, an orcish stronghold?
Yeah, it's a fortress out east.
Fortress.
Well, I'll be honest with you. As much as I love the idea of this sunless citadel, and I don't think there's much of a point of hiding much from you folks anymore. As long as I have a stronghold, I'm happy. And quite honestly, there might be treasure inside, there might not. All I know is that there's this artifact, and that artifact would be going to someone else. That does not help us.
Well, he did say that the horn that he wants is a horn that's magical, that if blown, that it will grant good luck to anyone that hears it.
But he'll be the one taking it, isn't he?
By the sounds of it, yes, but but the way he's made it sound like it was a very tempting offer. And besides, it's one way or the other, he's going to get that item.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say this. No one holds on to objects for far too long, if you really want it that badly.
Fair enough.
But there is some other things that I find more urgent. If we are to find a place to recoup, a good one, I want to know what everyone's options would be like, and what the best place we can do.
We've already stated, dear Charlotte, that we have the Citadel, we have the fortress, and the ship. Now, one of those are mobile. Which is the ship, of course.
And one of them is a possible threat to the town itself, as well as the town very much being a threat to them.
If the orcs are a threat to the town, and then again, the pirates are also a threat.
Yes, but
But-
they're a known threat.
The only problem for me is that it's up. You see, we pirates have a code. We don't really backstab other pirates. Unless they are really pissing off other pirates and raiding other pirates.
We don't backstab other pirates unless we really, really feel like it.
Not feel like need to. Like if it was very much a requirement to maintain order, basically.
I have to ask, Amo and Charlotte, do we think that the orcs are actually a threat to the town, or do we think that whoever you spoke to's judgment was clouded?
I have many feelings that it is the latter, but we won't know until we go there. But if we do hold it, then, well, the consequence of idleness will lead to something more interesting, I guess.
I
see.
have a bit of a personal obligation to help, at least offer a form of peace with the orcs. My dad, in a sense, kinda told me if I ever met another orc, don't seek to destroy them or anything like that. Try to talk to them down if they are, the landlubber type. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, my current problem is I have a desire to get the ship, but I want to help my kind because of personal honor. The treasure thing from the last guy, the guy that me and Snake Boy here talked to, that was a tempting offer, but the ship is more tempting than the treasure, and helping my kind is more tempting for me than the ship, if that makes sense. Although those two are kind of equal, and it's just... God, I hate these moral dilemmas!
Well, we all have to make a decision, and it has to be soon, because time still flows. And so,
Yes,
what do we think is more valuable?
I vote
Well,
for the
if we get
stronghold.
the orcs on our sides, that means we could guarantee an entire army of orcs, which, if you think about it, is a really strong ally.
We have 2 votes for the Orcish stronghold. Charlotte?
I'll wait my decision.
Okay. Anyone else?
Either way, there's going to be fighting, and I like it.
Exactly. So, I surmise you're going to vote also for the Orc stronghold?
Well, if that's what everybody else is wanting.
Okay, well, that's 3. Charlotte and me. Let me see.
Well,
Aren't dilemmas like this fun?
We can always build a ship, so there's that. So we can go and deal with this orcish problem and solve it as peacefully or as however way they come at us, as just with as much finesse as possible. This is difficult though, but yeah, for the good of the group, we'll go and tackle this orc stronghold.
I think that's for the best. If we can prevent the orcs, if they are thinking of attacking Saltmarsh, that's a win. And if we can prevent Saltmarsh from waging war against the orcs, that's a win.
Or potentially innocent. Potentially, not a guarantee.
Of course. Point is, if we can get a stronghold, get some more forces, I think we'll be doing pretty well for ourselves.
I think I sent a laddie out. I think I sent one of my lads out to actually negotiate with one of the local tribes, so we could rendezvous with him. Get the layout of what's going on with the tribes right now, and then probably see how to go about this peacefully without provoking a threat to them ourselves.
That would be very useful.
I mean, I kind of thought about recruiting some of the orcs in the area for, you know, a crew, but well, I talk about a weird way of saying foresight.
I don't see why not, Captain. That would be very good for us and lucrative, depending on what they can do.
Yep.
Indeed.
And worst case scenario, we can probably buy a ship in time.
Right. There's that.
And if we do have more people on our side, perhaps making a ship ourselves wouldn't be so hard, would it?
Oh, with the manpower of an orc, we could. The potential is limitless.
Exactly.
Well, okay. This is reminds me of the day that I was faced with getting a 2-night crystal or trying to tame a dune dragon. This is good. This is good progress.
So the party has decided to go to the orcish keep, and try to resolve that one first. Correct?
Yes.
Sounds that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you ever heard of a crystal called 2-night, by the way?
No, not familiar. Is
Neither
it
am
It is a crystal that's only special to my side of the world. You see, the crystal has an ability to extract music and voices from your aura. It makes it truly beguiling. You should see our sword singers. It's terrifying and beautiful.
Fascinating.
Terrifying and beautiful. I love it.
Yes. Imagine the last thing you would hear as their 2-night blades swing through the air into your flesh. It's the most beautiful voice you could imagine, chanting your fall. Oh, the Dune Dragons is also known to use 2-night crystals to lure its prey towards it. It would hide near a 2-night crystal and then wait for whatever prey to be attracted to its sound as it produces. And when it gets close enough, it bursts and swallows you in one gulp. Terrifying. She shudders.
Very interesting. I would like to see more one day.
And Charlotte, you're into alchemy, right? Oh, the caves in the Diamond Deserts is filled with this strange plant that glows in the dark. It does not photosynthesize like normal plants, but it instead absorbs pockets of darkness and converts it to visible light. So, you might use it for your potions to make super glowy potions. It's a popular decoration in the homes of our commoners. So, one day if we visit, I would love to show you.
Well, that is very, very exciting. I do love light work.
Ikarath would look at Helica and say, that part wasn't as interesting as the haunting and beautiful thing you were talking about.
Oh, the two-eyed crystals. You put that in or you fashion a blade out of it, and, well, what our priests use it for is in the echo chambers. A lot of our bards use it on their instruments. You can swing your sword in the air, and you can cut a musical note and damage your enemies. It is... the things I've seen it do is terrifying. But like I said, you'd have to see our sword singers.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, Ikarath would kind of smile and say, it sounds like you could drive a man to madness with it.
Madness is an understatement. If you were to attune to a two-eyed crystal, and you were to drop it in, say, your rival clan's councilman's purse, within a day or two, they would go mad and start attacking their own council members, and you can dismantle a whole family like that and claim power. The warring factions, my father doesn't have time to be bothered with them, so it kind of runs amok. But I should get you one. I should have one delivered here. I'll see if I can get a servant to get you a two-eyed crystal.
I have at least 3. I would like to try experiments myself.
Good. Oh, Shinzo. Interesting. I just want to let you know, when I was mentioning those Dune Dragons, I think you would be legendary for slaying one all your own. I know you could by yourself. My goodness. If we ever go to the Diamond Deserts, beneath the deserts are caves of crystals, which is home to the largest crystals ever, I would think, in this world. Gargantuan milky white beams of moonlight crystals jut from the cave walls, some as long as 11 meters and more than 1 meter wide, crisscross in the underground chambers. There is no other place like it on the planet, where the mineral would reveal itself in such beauty. For you to have a blade made out of moonglint, my goodness, it would make your foes just surrender their life upon seeing it. That's the effect that it has. I was never able to get one because it's guarded by the Dune Dragon, and it guards its territory jealously. The Dune Dragon is a strange creature with the body of a snake and the head of a lizard and the wings of a bat. It has 2 pairs of wings, one large and one small, which the smaller ones is used for steering. So watch out if you were to be taken up and whisked into the air. You can see all the desert is beautiful, but you will be dropped to your death. I don't know if you could survive that. And it has a long, thin tail with an arrow tipped, and it can be used to deliver a deadly poison. Probably the most deadliest you could ever imagine.
You're gonna,
oh my goodness.
You get on the back of one of them, you're gonna fall to your death, but goddamn, the view is gonna be like top tier.
It'll be fucking awesome.
You're gonna die at the end, but still, worth it.
Oh, I have tons of things to spout about the Diamond Deserts, but I don't want to bore you all. But yeah, that's about as much as I can think of. All right. But yes.
I believe...
That was not boring at all.
I believe we can call it there for the evening. At least for YouTube. Good night, YouTube. We love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace of the love and coconuts.
Sorry for going off on that rant.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. My name is Hawk, and I've been your GM for today. Our players today were Shinzo, playing Shinzo, the human fighter. Bobbert, playing Eobrov Quapplefo, the half-elf druid. Ryan, playing Ikarath, the Yuan-Ti warlock. Dingo, playing Amo, the human kaiju tamer. Bean, playing Charlotte, the human warlock. And Shun, playing Helica, the tabaxi barbarian. Character art used belongs to Jocat, Daria Rashev, Shutterstock, and Dreamscarred Press. Shun and Bean drew their own artwork as well. Ghosts of Saltmarsh, Dungeons & Dragons, and all associated properties are copyright Wizards of the Coast. This has been a Prism Blade Gaming production. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing, and please share it with your friends. We stream this campaign on a weekly basis at 8 p.m. on Sundays over at twitch.tv/PrismBladeGaming. You can also follow me on Twitter at HawkJohansson to keep up to date with other streams and videos that we'll be working on in the near future. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again next time.